Hi, it's me again, Barb Iverson. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this article that this guy, had this strange condition, Cotard syndrome. I just can't imagine what he went through. I don't know if that's ever happened to any of you or anything. It sounds like it's a pretty rare condition, but I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my own kind of strange experience after my accident. I had what I kind of think was a form of amnesia, but I looked up amnesia, and from what I could figure out, there's like 6 major kinds of, or 6 recognized forms or kinds of amnesia. And what I experienced I couldn't really find my experience in the types of amnesia listed. At least I don't know enough information about it, maybe. I never really talked to doctors, psychiatrists, anything like that about what was going on with me, because I didn't really think was anything different maybe that other people hadn't experienced, or I don't know, it just wasn't something I could articulate very well, I guess maybe I thought people would think I was crazy, or I don't know. But anyways, what happened to me basically was, I remember, shortly after I started talking, somebody, I don't remember who it was, it might have been my mom, asked me like what my name was, or if I knew who I was, or something like that. And I remember just not having an answer, like, I don't know what my name, and then I don't know if somebody told me my name, like your name is, or you are. But I remember the very first time somebody said, either your name is or you are Barb Iverson, my very first response in my head was, oh, yuck, I don't want to be her. And I don't know why I reacted that way. To this day, I don't know. But I have some suspicions, but, I don't really know. Anyways, at first I thought, well, I'm just going to pretend to be this person until I can figure out who I really am. And then I'll tell everybody. And I don't know how I was supposed to do that, and I didn't spend any time out of my day trying to figure out who I was. It was just something that I thought. Because everybody I met, or not met, but everybody I knew or knew me from before seemed to think that Barb Iverson was who I was. And the weird thing was I knew most people, like friends and relatives and stuff. And in fact, doing genealogy was something that actually started to get me to accept that I really was this person. And it's really weird. Anyways, let me just tell you the story about a really weird experience I had with the amnesia thing. As far as I remember, this was in the spring of '85, after I'd gotten back to Luther College. And for some reason, I was studying, and I don't know what I was doing, and I was filling out some paperwork or something, or doing an assignment, and it was something where I had to put my name at the top of the page. And I couldn't figure out how to spell my name. If you saw my last video about how to spell my name, you'll understand this, okay? And I just couldn't figure out how to spell it. Was it O-N or E-N? And it was the weirdest thing, because other times, you'd pause to think, oh my gosh, what is the day? What's the date today, But I was a junior in college, for goodness sake, 21 years old. How come I couldn't figure out how to spell my name? But I swear, it took me 3 or 4 minutes. I didn't know. Weird thing was, I remember seeing it spelled E-N before. And that seemed to make Barb happy. Barb, that's supposed to be me, right? So I thought, okay, maybe that's how you spell it. And then I thought, well, maybe it was just a typo. I don't know. Was she, because how do I know what her memories are? So in the end, I decided, well, I'd seen it O-N more times than E-N. So maybe I would better be safe and put it O-N, right? So I start writing my name, Iverson, as O-N. And at the same time that my hand is writing O-N, something in the back of my mind, way back there, was getting mad. Was rebelling, kind of like, damn it, that's, I don't like it when it's spelled that way. But I couldn't stop my hand from spelling it that way. And shortly after that, I went somewhere else and I met a friend. And I told them about my experience, And they looked at me like I had just dropped out of the sky, Like they could not figure out why I had a hard time figuring out what my name was or how to spell it or whatever. So I figured from that I just had a bizarre experience that I better not tell anybody about anymore. Not tell anybody that I was really struggling with my identity. I'm trying to even out where I'm sitting, but so maybe that's why I didn't tell anybody that I was struggling with my identity, because people looked at me kind of weird. So I couldn't figure out myself why it was so hard for me. To this day, once in a while I have a few little qualms, but not very many. After I went to graduate school, about 4 to 5 years after the accident, there was somebody in Arizona, a really good friend of mine, that had helped me, because as I was talking with her about going through some things, I started to relate my memories, and somehow I realized my memories were the same memories as Barb Iverson's memories. I don't know how I knew Barb Iverson, I don't know how I felt like they were two different things, but somehow that helped me realize that, okay, if my memories are the same as this Barb Iverson, that maybe I am this person. But anyways, just wanted to correct something that I said, I think it was yesterday, about you don't have to read Think and Grow Rich and stuff like that. We really encourage reading and growing, learning, growing as a person, trying to develop yourself into a leader and things like that with the Power Network. What I was trying to say was that not always are you going to get inspiration from self-help books, or that's what they used to be called. I think they're called self-development books or something like that now. But I'll tell you another story. Another friend of mine with Empower Network, and no, I actually listened to her this time, and no, it was not Lisa Kidder this time, okay, because I tell you a lot about her and how influential she is to my life, and she really has been. She's a phenomenal lady. I absolutely love Lisa Kidder. But And I'm not going to tell you who advised me about this until after you start. Then, once you're in Empower Network, then I'll introduce you, because she can help you too. But anyways, and she was telling me, I was fortunate enough to meet this person in Chicago, and she told me about this book, I'm pretty sure in Chicago, because I was having a rough time. I think it was partly because of the weather. Minnesota had been having such a long winter, and I was just sick of it, because for 6 to 7 straight months, the temperature never got higher than 50 degrees. We had one day, the day before Easter, was like 52 degrees. But otherwise, since October, it had been 50 or below. I was just sick of it. Then it's April and we're in Chicago, and it's sleeting and snowing and cold and windy, and it was awful. I was just beside myself. I just couldn't stand it anymore, And I was trying to, it was kind of hard to stay upbeat about Empower Network and everything. Empower Network is great, but when you're in a funk, you're just kind of in a funk, and it's hard to be excited about anything. So I thought, how can I present myself to people, or how can I market this opportunity when I'm feeling like just going through the motions and da 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 da. Well, she recommended a book to me called The Traveler's Gift, and I thought, well, okay, I'll get to it sometime, because everybody's got their favorite books, whatever, right? Okay, so then just the other day, I happened to read a book. My Kindle doesn't work anymore, but I have an iPhone, and I found out that I can get all of that. I merged the Kindle Cloud with my iPhone Cloud or some kind of thing, and now I can get all the books that I had on my Kindle in my iPhone. So it's cool. So anyways, I was reading a book. I'm an aficionado of true crime. I like true crime. I don't know why, I just do. I've always been a nonfiction reader, so maybe that's why. But I was reading a book written by a fellow whose sister had been murdered. And I thought, well, this would be an interesting perspective. Well, and I got some inspiration from that book, because he was in a funk at various times, and he was talking with the psychiatrist who had recommended that he do something with filmmaking or something like that, right? Pick up a hobby. And he started to get a lot of desire to do it, and kind of found his passion. Well, so that really inspired me, and it made me think, this is my passion, because I'm feeling kind of funky and really tired, and think, oh, I gotta go do Empower Network, gotta, work today, haven't worked. It's hard at home-based business sometimes, right? Well, then I sit down and sit at my computer, and I start reading comments from friends, or reading somebody else's blog, or checking my email and seeing more leads come in, or just whatever it might be, and it gets me fired up, and it's like, yeah, I want to do this again, and I'm so excited, right? And so I love that about Empower Network, because very few things get me excited like that. No, I don't want to go there. Okay, that was kind of a Freudian slip. But anyways, there. Sorry, I just blew away my screen. So let's see, where was it? Okay, so I was chatting with this lady on Facebook last night, and I was saying, I'm just in the funk, I just don't know what's going on, because I'm really upset with about Bindi. Not upset with her, but about her condition, because they keep changing their minds about what's wrong with her. She has to have surgery, and bills, and it's just kind of getting stressed, right? And so I'm just in a funk. And she recommended, or she asked me what I was reading, or if I read. And I said, well, yeah, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich right now, and get that on my iPhone too, PDF. And then she said, well, she recommended Traveler's Gift again. I thought, what is it with this book? What is it with, And so I thought, okay, I'll just humor her and I'll check it out. I'll just see what, and Kindle has that thing, or Amazon, whatever, you can get a free sample, right? So I thought, okay, I'll just look into it a little bit. Well, I found out it was a fiction book. I thought, get out. I thought all these self-improvement books were going to be nonfiction, right? So I'm checking it out, and this is getting too long. And so I'm reading the free sample, and I just blew right through it, right? Because it was so interesting, and I was really enthralled with it, and I just snapped it up right away. It was like $10, and I love those ebooks. They're so much cheaper, and which is great, because then you can get more books. But so anyways, so I read that. I bought the rest of it. I stayed up and I read a couple through the 3rd chapter or whatever, and I just loved the book, and it was just really speaking to me, and I was starting to get my inspiration, starting to get my funk off or whatever. And I just wanted to say that it doesn't have to be a traditional book that you think, like Think and Grow Rich or The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. Think and Grow Rich is by Napoleon Hill. Or The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by the late Stephen Covey. Well, Florence Scovel Shinn is also dead, but we don't say the late, that'll be another topic for another day. But anyways, it doesn't have to be, or a book by Lisa Kidder, The Game of Life for the New Millennium. Anyways, let's see, I say that too many times. Anyways, you can find inspiration in a lot of different books. Whatever it is that speaks to you at the moment. And that's what I love about Empower Network, is because people are really dedicated to learning more and becoming better and greater people. Because the more value you put in yourself, and the more value you can have in yourself, the more knowledge in yourself that you can give to other people, that's what is important in life. And that's what people like Napoleon Hill or Andrew Carnegie or Henry Ford, that's what the successful leaders of the past have done. And that's what makes them successful, is they continued to grow as people and became valuable as people. And they could give value to other people, made them successful. So anyways, so get started. So I can tell you who shared this wonderful nugget with me, the Traveler's Gift. And I'll share some other books as I find them with you. The book, the true story book was, oh God, I can't remember the name of it. Something about She Had No Enemies, I think. So you know the drill. Below this video, create your own future here. Until tomorrow.